B&T Sportstalk show. We are up late for y'all this Sunday evening. Man, lots going on today. Happy Easter to everyone out there. Lots of playoff games yesterday and today, including both of our favorite teams doing, well, the complete opposite of one another. We'll definitely talk more about that. And some questions about eras. Whose era is it? Whose era is it? The question between two of the biggest players in the past 10 or 15 years, and 20 for one of these guys. So we'll definitely discuss that in the NBA. Yeah, man. Happy Easter, B. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I mean, why would I? Why would I be mad about Easter Sunday?
Yeah, I know,
He
right?
has risen. Steph Curry has come back from the dead against
he
the
never
Houston
died.
Rockets.
Let's calm down. He didn't die.
I don't know, dude. There was a lot of talk when the Rockets came to the Chase Center and blanketed Curry for 3 points. How'd that work out for y'all today?
Yeah, well, definitely a great game for the Warriors. And by the way, folks, if you like what you're hearing, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe. We appreciate it. Hit that notification button as well while you're at it. Without further ado, let's just jump into it. It was the last game of the evening. It was probably one of the most, sought after matchups or most watched matchups, we'll say today, as the others were absolute dog water for the most part. So it was, these other games were not that great. Miami put up a little bit of a fight against the Cavs, but couldn't get it done. OKC, I don't even know why the Grizzlies even showed up to that game. That was absolutely
why
horrible.
Yeah.
They lost by 51 today in a absolute beatdown. But let's talk about the Warriors, man. So the Warriors come in to this game. There's some questions, obviously, because they're the lower seed. They're playing on the road. But, of course, the Warriors have been one of the better teams towards the end of the season with the addition of Jimmy Butler. But there were some questions after the matchup that they had a little earlier this season. And, Houston did a great job of really just putting a lot of pressure and intensity defensively on Steph Curry. And man, I'll say this, and this really was less about Steph Curry, in my opinion. This was less about Steph Curry and a hell of a lot more about Steve Kerr. The Warriors did an excellent job of using the Rockets' aggressiveness against them. There were more back cuts in this game than you could imagine. A lot of them from Steph Curry. And they just did a great job of utilizing or taking the strength of the Houston Rockets, which is being aggressive, being physical, and use it against them this entire game. They judo the crap out of the Houston Rockets, and they were not prepared. And the Houston Rockets suffered from what they suffered with all season, which is they are not a high scoring team. They do not shoot the ball at a high clip. What they are is a great defensive and offensive rebounding team, and the Warriors took advantage of those weaknesses today, man. So you got to be feeling good about that, B.
You talk about the experience, right? There's the Warriors have 3 players on the team with over 100 games of postseason experience, and the Rockets don't even have anybody with 50 games. It really speaks volume, and you saw that today, right? So the Rockets get out to a hot start. Sengun dunks on Draymond. Everybody's losing their mind, right? But you don't see the Warriors panic. The Warriors, it's a 48-minute basketball game, so you need to treat it like a 48-minute basketball game. In today's modern game, you see run after run after run, right? And the Warriors withstand Houston's best punches and, didn't panic. You can see the Rockets enter a panic mode when they could not score the put the ball in the basket, but towards the end of the first quarter into the second quarter. And I'm not saying, you got to give credit to the Warriors defense as well. They made it difficult. But I can't be more happy. We have playoff Jimmy in our corner now. And this is the reason why we got him. This is the reason why we went out and traded for him. And I really wish they had just done the damn thing right before the season started.
Yeah.
But this is why you got him here. He knows when to slow the game down. He knows when it is his time. And he really helped weather that storm for the Warriors. And we've seen in years past where these kind of games get away from the Warriors real quickly. Didn't get away from them.
Yeah.
They weathered all of that there, and that came with the experience there. So overall, great game. I don't know about you, man, but watching that game, why do they have refs on the court? Like it just got like they didn't want to call anything.
This was
today.
They definitely let him play this time. This was definitely more of a like early 2000s or late 90s grinded out type game. And if you look at the score, you'll know exactly what I mean. It was 95 to 85. That's right. Nobody got over 100 points. And we're talking about a team with Steph Curry. And that's just because the defensive intensity and the physicality of the game. This game really, in that regard, really should have went in Houston's favor. Because this is the type of game that they usually win, where they're grinding from possession to possession. The Warriors didn't shoot them out of the gym. But ultimately, I think what it came down to was the Warriors exerting their own physicality, which they needed to do. And then also hitting timely shots. I mean, they got some timely shots from Moody. They got some huge shots late from Curry. And they got a couple of one-on-ones with Jimmy Butler late in the game, too, that also, where the play broke down and you just needed a guy to get a bucket. And they were able to get that done. While on the other end, Houston was having a terrible time of trying to figure out how to find any type of offense on their team. I mean, these guys, again, and you can look at their stats, they're just not a very good shooting team as far as field goal percentage, and they left a lot of balls on the rim, man. They left tons of shots in and around the rim. They didn't do a good job finishing. When they got offensive rebounds, they could not find a way to score on those second chance opportunities, and they weren't able to get it done, man. So kudos to the Warriors, big win on the road, game one. Houston's got to be scared. I mean, this is the type of game you want. You got the game you want. You lose the game. I mean, somebody's got to get hot.
You couldn't. The Warriors said, "Sengun, get what you want." They literally let Sengun get what they wanted, and no one else from the Rockets chipped in. I mean, Fred VanVleet really didn't have a great game. Amen Thompson, Dillon Brooks was doing Dillon Brooks things.
He didn't do anything.
But the thing is the Warriors said, "All right, you took away our best player. We kind of dropped the ball. It kind of role reversed today." They said, "You let your best player Sengun get what he wants, but have somebody else beat us." And no one from the Rockets. I think Jabari Smith Jr. had a pretty decent game.
Yeah, but even he only had 11 points. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. No one broke 20 points today for the Rockets outside of Sengun. And so that's a question that you have to ask yourself as a Rockets player. Who's your number two, right? Everyone in this league has a number two. Your Lakers, you have LeBron, you have Luka. Right? The Warriors have Jimmy, they have Steph. The Rockets have Sengun, and that's it. Yeah. And so it's like, all right, let Sengun get his points. He had almost 30 points today?
Yeah.
I think 25.
Well,
but no other Rockets player did anything else after that.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, this was to be the opportunity for a player like Jalen Green to show up and show that he's actually as good as his draft number shows. And he just didn't show up. He had 7 points. So this is a guy who's supremely athletic, but he's a very streaky shooter. And if it's not going for him, they're not going in. But when he's hot, he's hot. And unfortunately, this was just one of those times where you just couldn't get any points from anybody. I mean, those guys are shooting up more bricks than, they're trying to build a whole house. I mean, they shot 39% from the field. They shot 20% from the three-point line. That is just atrocious. And it's not even like the Warriors blew the earth open with the way they played. The Warriors shot 47% from the field, which is actually fairly good. They shot 37% from three, which is that's league average, but it's not good for the Warriors. They traditionally play a little better than that. And if you look up and down the board, you got to tip your hat to Pod. I can't even say this guy's name.
Podziemski, I got you.
I'm just gonna call him Pods. P. Mitsky, whatever. BP.
Ski.
I don't know about that one. BP.
You know what? That's what I might call him that. Ski.
Yeah, okay. I don't know about the meaning of that, but But we got BP, 14 points, and that's all the Warriors needed, because you look up and down their roster, nothing else happened. I mean, you had Jimmy Butler with 25, Steph with 31, and it was Pods with 14 that put them over the top. Everybody else, Moses Moody, 7 points. Gary Payton Jr., or Gary Payton II, 7 points. Buddy Hield, 2 points, barely even touched the floor. So there wasn't a lot of contributions from other players on the Warriors team, but it was a good collective effort. And guys like Moses Moody did knock down shots. Gary Payton made plays when they needed him to make plays. So it was just it was just the timing for some of their other players that helped them get over the hump.
Exactly here. And that's what you want there. But I really want to give credit to the rebounding effort that the Warriors put forward today. When the Rockets are going to be a good team down the road if they can maintain this roster. Because when Jabari Smith Jr. was out there, who's number 17 for the Rockets? Why am I blanking on? Yeah, what was his name? But when they brought out the large lineup with Steven Adams, with Sengun, bro, rebounds are a premium when it comes to that. So you better shoot lights out, or you better find a way to get rebounds, man. And I mean, credit to the Warriors for weathering that kind of storm in regards to that. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is the whole reason why you went out and got Jimmy Butler, is to subsidize Steph Curry like that. 20 points a piece from those two. That's why 7 points from guys like Moses Moody, 14 from Pajemski, 7 from Gary Payton II. Those add up, and it helps balance the scoring for the rest of the team there. And that's what the Warriors got from them today.
Well, the question is, how much of this is the Warriors' defense and how much of this is just Houston having a bad shooting night? Because
I think it's 50-50.
Yeah, it's got
to be 50-50.
Because we talked about rebounds, right? I mean, they out-rebounded you guys 52-36. I mean, they did
the score don't reflect it,
but they didn't score. They didn't score any points. They shot 39% from the field, man. 39%, 20% from three. Like, this was a very poor shooting night, and I want to give the Golden State props for the defense that they played. But the next game, I expect Houston to shoot the ball a little bit better than this, and that doesn't mean that the Warriors can't shoot better than they did, because the Warriors, they weren't 85-95 is not showing that any team blew it open. Okay, let's just put it like that. Neither one of these teams.
It was rough though.
I mean, neither one of these teams was blowing the other one out. Okay, this was definitely a tit for tat, slow goes it. Just grind it out game, which is what Houston wants to play. But Houston could not get any shots to go. So I'll be curious to see what Houston does in the next game. I have to assume that they're definitely going to shoot better than they did tonight. The key will be, will they be able to get the same type of performance out of the Warriors? Because if they can shoot better and hold the Warriors to 95, they got a good chance of winning the game. But if they go shoot 20% from three and 39% from the field, they're not beating anybody, Warriors or anybody else. So we'll see if they could do it. But again, great win on the road for the Warriors. They showed everybody's been saying that the Houston Rockets are too young and not ready. You talked about the inexperience earlier, and it's starting to look that way. The Rockets got to come back and play on some pride. Otherwise, the series is over.
Mm-hmm. Quick before I jump into that, QPXY says the chef and the butler cooked. They're gonna be cooking all series here. And then Forrest Cool says Buddy Brick. I want to ask you this. I know we watch both of our teams play a lot, and obviously Jonathan Kuminga has been in the doghouse since he's been back.
Yeah.
Do the Warriors make a change and maybe see a little more Kuminga than Buddy Hield? Although I like Buddy Hield's defense. It's not the greatest, but I'm all right with it.
Dude, I got to say, at this point, I don't think Kuminga's going to see any playing time. I mean, he's not injured, okay? This is a coaching decision. They're saying that Kuminga is not a part of their playoff rotation. Like, that's literally what's being said right now. So I doubt that Kuminga even touches the floor throughout the rest of this series. And
garbage time.
Based on how Steve Kerr is and how he treats rookies or new players, he may not even see another minute in the entire rest of this NBA playoffs. I don't know what put him on the bad side of Kerr. Maybe you could give some more insight on that. He's been up and down, but I thought Kuminga athletically and what he brings to the table, I thought would have been huge, especially because he can kind of replace or at least offer a replacement for Jimmy Butler when he's not in the game at that position. But it appears that Steve Kerr has said, no, sorry, bro, you ain't playing.
I honestly think those two are beefing right now. Like I really think it's those two. It all started before the season. Kuminga wanted a max extension, and the Warriors said no. Like, you need to kind of show it. There was a glimpse of it, but there was nothing consistent of it. Like, Kuminga really needs to model what Jimmy Butler does. When it's isolation here, Kuminga just doesn't look like he's got it all together when he's in an isolation here, when it's one-on-one. And then the worst part is he gets to the free throw line. You can't be breaking free throws if your goal is to get to the free throw line. Like, that's one thing. But I honestly think that there is something more internally that Kuminga has done that has warranted his benching with Steve Kerr.
There's gotta be, man, because
it has to be
for him not to even be available. You know what I mean? Like,
dude,
it's one thing to not play a guy or give a guy limited minutes, but it's another thing to bench him at time. I want to point out the fact that Buddy Hield played today. Okay,
2 points.
But Buddy Hield's not giving the Warriors anything, and to be honest with you, has not given the Warriors anything since the beginning of the season, maybe.
After game 20, after that, we haven't had much from him.
That's it. After that, Buddy has been a complete non-factor. And so for him to have, what would he have? 15 minutes. Yep. But for Kuminga to not even play, not even suit up is, I think that's very telling of where Steve Kerr is going to go with the rest of this playoffs.
Oh, dude, I don't, like I said, Kuminga just may not see the floor for the entire playoffs.
He ain't happening.
I think the Warriors look, obviously there's a lot to go on for the rest of the, postseason here. But if this trend stays up and we enter the offseason, I don't see Kuminga coming back as a Warrior next year.
No, he's getting traded.
100%. And that's
for sure.
That is the Warriors' best trade value right now, is a guy like Kuminga, where on film he's got some really good talent. There's something going on mentally in between the ear spaces that is just causing him not to be on the court right now. I think there's just something. There's something with it, but to me, I don't think he's on board with what the Warriors want to do for this postseason. I think he's a little sensitive about it, and the Warriors don't have time for that. This is winning time now. You need to adapt to it.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Warriors do well with young players until it's right around the time for them to get paid, and then the Warriors don't know what to do with young players. It's the same thing that happened to Jordan Peele. The guy plays well.
Jordan Poole, not Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele. Great comedian. Great show. Key and Peele. Go watch it. But Jordan Poole, dude, this guy helps you guys win a championship against the Celtics and gets a contract and is gone within a year. I think you'll see the same thing with Kuminga. Guys play well.
They won't give him the contract. That's the thing. They're not going to.
No, they're not this time. No, they're not going to make the same.
They learned their lesson.
They're not going to make the same mistake. Well, let's move on to the unfortunate task of talking about my Los Angeles Lakers, who, slipped on 5 banana peels, landed in cement, and I think they're still there now. This was probably the worst game I have seen them play.
Way to spoil Luka's playoff debut in a Laker uniform. He played really damn well.
Yeah, well,
way to spoil that.
We talked about it a little bit before the show. It's a term that I have coined. Okay, so if I hear it used anywhere else, you know where you stole it from. You know where it began. The Lakers came out with, and I've been saying this all season, with what I like to call walking energy. It was throughout the building. It was in LeBron James. It was in a lot of the other players where they were not quick to the ball. They were not playing defense with any type of intensity. Guys were not trying to get to loose balls. There was no intensity in the Laker team at all. All Minnesota had to do was out hustle the Lakers, and make the Lakers, which they kept doing time and time again, which was try to help one pass away. They did that all night. And the Minnesota got every open three you could possibly imagine because some idiot...
they hit them too.
They hit them, exactly. And that was the difference.
Yeah.
But some idiot wanted to put their hand in the cookie jar or pretend like they were playing defense out of position and just let somebody throw up a three. There was one possession where LeBron James was up at the free throw line guarding, I believe it was Alexander. And the ball swung to the opposite side of the floor. He completely turned his back. He turned his back towards the basket on defense as his man was behind him. And then the ball goes flying right past him to an open guy for another three. LeBron's out of position, tries to make some haphazard attempt to put up a contest. And that was the story of the game. The Lakers continued to be one step behind on every play. Defensively, they were all out of whack. You saw LeBron James trying to go one-on-one against guys he was not faster than, like Nas Reed, and got blocked. He got blocked by Reed, and then, who was it? It was, what's his face? DiGiorno. You know what I'm talking about. Rudy Gobert.
Everyone's favorite. Do you call him DiGiorno, bro?
Rudy Gobert tried to take Rudy Gobert to the paint, got blocked. LeBron gets blocked back-to-back because... Guess what, LeBron? These guys are not slower than you. You're not going to run past anybody at 41 anymore. You're going to have to play like a 4. You're going to have to catch the ball in the post, bat guys down on mismatches, and score in the paint. It was so stupid. They kept picking apart these dumb mismatches that didn't do anything for them. Austin Reeves was a non-factor in this game, unfortunately. He wasn't able to get around anybody and kind of spent most of the game turning the ball over and just not really getting a good feel. But here's the thing I've been saying all season. This is the thing that bothers me most about LeBron James. When he's not hustling, when he's not playing hard, the whole team follows. If he's not out there hustling from bounce, if he's not the guy that's getting in the gaps, getting busy with his hands in the lanes, trying to get steals, putting body on body and getting to rebounds. If the hustle's not there for him, the whole team follows suit. And it's been like that for the past 3 years. Like it's been like that every time. So if he's not gonna show that intensity, now all of a sudden Rui Hachimura is not playing very well. Now all of a sudden this guy's not playing very well. I mean, honestly, Luka had a good game. He didn't have a terrible game. He had a great game. What you mean? He played pretty well. There were times where he made defensive mistakes too, but offensively, when he got his mismatch, he knew what to do. Okay, everybody else didn't know what the hell was going on.
Look, let's be honest. Luka's not a top tier defender. You're not asking him to be a top tier defender.
No.
That defensive effort you got from him on Saturday, that's what you're going to get from him. What you're asking for is the game-changing plays, the step back on offense, making the right read there, and you got that from him. But like you said, where's the face of the league at? LeBron was nowhere to be found in this game. I just don't feel like that effort was there, and it clearly showed in regards to that there. And then, let's give credit to the Timberwolves. They shot lights out. Do I expect them to do that on Tuesday? They made 21 threes?
21 of 42. They shot 50% from the three-point line.
Look, that's not a team that shoots 50% from the three-point line anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to take that kind of – if it takes that kind of effort to beat the Lakers, as a Laker fan, I think I'm okay with that because you're not getting that every night. You're definitely not. Although, ever since Ant Edwards hung out with Steph Curry at the Olympics, dude, the man led the league in three-point shooting this year.
Yeah, no, he's played very well. I
don't see the Wolves shooting 50% from the 3-point line night in and night out, especially in a 7-game series. They caught fire, they ran with it. I guarantee you they don't do that again in this series. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing the Lakers have to be concerned mostly with is picking up their defensive effort. If they could do that one thing, they'll give themselves a chance to win every single game the rest of this series. But if they come out with that crap they pulled yesterday, where they just think they're just going to hot roll into a mid-November regular season game and they're just going to beat the Wolves, or the Wolves are just going to lay down for no reason, then they're sadly mistaken. So I just think Naz Reid is out there. He's a great player. The leading scorer for the Timberwolves was not Anthony Edwards. It was Jaden McDaniels. Okay?
Yeah.
That just goes to show you how well that the Minnesota Timberwolves were shooting the ball overall. And the Lakers have a lot of glaring advantages against the Wolves, but you can't just expect the other team to lay down. The Lakers have to be more physical. They have to use that intensity and force these guys to defend them, and they did not do that at all. Their mismatches, when they got them, they screwed them up. You know, LeBron James at the top of the key is a thing of the past, folks. He can't do that no more. I'm sorry, he can't. And I think it's a thing where he has to catch the ball in the mid to high post and work from there. And to be honest, Bron should be setting screens. He should be the guy going downhill. He should be the guy pulling defenders in his direction to open things up for other people at this point in his career. But what we can't do is have him standing in the corner by himself or trying to hunt mismatches. Those days are over.
Yeah.
No more hunting mismatches. You got to run sets. So they obviously know that if they lose the next game, their season is over. That's all I'm going to say.
It's tough. And the last, like, you honestly, look, we all know road teams, if you steal one, you gain home court advantage, right? Well, they just handed that over to the Wolves.
Yeah.
You need to go back and get one. Now you literally need to win 2 in a row to gain that momentum back. Do the Lakers have it in them? They absolutely do. Do I want them to do that? Absolutely not. But you cannot show up like that. And honestly, I honestly think in this first game, they kind of were like, oh, it's the Timberwolves, right?
Yeah.
This isn't your normal Timberwolves team. This team is completely different.
Yeah.
All right. Like, Ant Edwards is on a mission. He's been on like that all year. We've seen the kind of talent that man, and he's gotten progressively better each year he's been in the playoffs, from the play-in loss to the Denver Nuggets to the next year beating those same Denver Nuggets in 7 games to advance to the Western Conference Finals, to now being in the position that he's in here. You have to manage that. And if the Lakers show up like they did yesterday, dude, you might as well just
stay home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, the bottom line is, if it were the Warriors that have fell into this seed and they played the Lakers would have played a lot better. I'm not guaranteeing they would have won, but they would have played a hell of a lot better than they did in this game.
Bro, it's the NBA playoffs, man. It doesn't matter how you win. Look at the Warriors today. They didn't even break 100 points.
Yeah.
All that matters is they're up 1-0 on the road. It doesn't matter how you get the W. It's what, 16 to win a championship?
Yeah.
Get to 16. I don't care how you get to it. Just find a way to get to it. And that's what the Lakers need to do. And I can't believe we're even saying that after the regular season that they had, from when they acquired Luka all the way up to getting into that 3rd seed, right? Because both of our teams were playing teams before the trade deadline.
They were, yes.
And the trades boosted both of these teams. I think you guys had a little more success with that because you guys found yourself in the 3rd seed. But now all of that don't mean nothing unless you can get to 16. And damn it, you better find a way to get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Papa J says,
them dubs.
What up,
Read it right there, man.
What's going on, Papa J?
Man,
how you feeling? How you doing?
I didn't get a chance to say it, but the Warriors, every playoff series outside of one, have found a way to win a road game. And the only road game they did not win was 2 years ago when our teams played each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Other than that, the Warriors have found a way to get a road victory. And you know how hard that is in the postseason? It doesn't happen that often. Home court is legitimately home court. I mean, look at the rest of the league that we're about to talk about.
Yeah, pretty much a lot of garbage, unfortunately. If we look at the games today, we start off with the
Lakers don't need to lock in. They're all right. Although I would like to see a Warrior-Laker matchup, If they don't lock in, I'd be happy with that. But anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, man. Well, look, we'll talk about some of the other games, and we'll go through this fairly quickly because a lot of the games today were absolute trash, except for the Golden State Warriors game. Memphis came out and got shellacked. I mean, they got blasted. I'm surprised John Morant wasn't on a plane back home after this game, finding out that he got traded.
You see any grenades being thrown this weekend?
I did. They threw one at the Memphis bench. They threw a grenade at the Memphis bench, and all them fools exploded because they lost by 51 points. Not even a game. I think Memphis had 67 points in like the going into fourth quarter. It was rough, man. It's not even why is this even on television?
How did Memphis beat them by 50 points with the SGA only scoring like 15 points today? Like, you got to be that bad, dude, in order to beat. God,
disrespectful, man. Absolutely
totally disrespectful.
And the Grizzlies couldn't disappear sooner. They're probably hoping that they could go back to the 5-game series at this point back in the day when the first round was 5 games. But unfortunately, they're gonna get whooped. That's a sweep. That's a clean sweep. I'm not even gonna talk much about it. Boston, another blowout. Now the Orlando Magic did try to make it interesting. They were up by 1 at halftime, but unfortunately,
there was still a second half of basketball.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Celtics woke up and they got their butts kicked by. Was it 18, 17 points here?
Yeah.
Then the game with Miami and Cleveland. Now, this game was a little bit more interesting. Miami did hang around for much of that game until the bitter end, like the last 3 minutes of the game when Cleveland was finally able to pull away. But Miami's like that. No, they'll bother you. They'll keep coming at you and look for a crack in the armor. And if they find one, they'll exploit it. But, hey, so far so good. Cleveland's the number 1 seed, and they got the job done. So
I will tell you this, though.
Yeah.
Miami took a really good shot from Cleveland, and it took Cleveland up until the last 3 minutes to pull away from that game.
Yeah.
If I'm Miami, I'm all right with that. You know you can steal one on the road. So go get it. I think Miami wins game 2.
Miami is always the scariest team in the East. Always.
Even without Jimmy Butler. Why is this happening?
Because they have and maybe people don't know this, but they have one of these best coaches,
Eric Spoelstra, in
the entire league, and that's Eric Spoelstra. He is the guy, and the guy LeBron didn't like at first, but he grew on him after a while.
Look at Papa J helping us out, man. By the way, happy 420, everybody. I know we're supposed to be celebrating Easter, but we're in the Bay Area, so it is 420 as well.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I guess you're right. But
I'm gonna send Debo to tell the Lakers to lock in. I'm assuming Debo from Friday.
Yes.
Yes. And then Papa J says, like and subscribe. Appreciate the plug, man. And we appreciate you, Papa J. I hope you are enjoying a little bit of 420 yourself today.
All right, so let's talk about the games from yesterday. We had some good games yesterday, or at least one good game.
Can we talk about the Pistons and the Knicks? Well, that was fun.
That was a good game. It was. I mean, the Knicks went on a crazy 20-something run in the fourth quarter because the Detroit Pistons were up by 10 in the fourth. Like the Pistons were on their way to a road victory. And they were just gritty as all hell. Beasley, huge threes. You had Dennis Schroeder getting steals. I mean, this team was man. I was watching them and I was like, I like these Pistons. They're gritty. Yep. They play hard. Tim Hardaway Jr. Glad to see him back playing because I always thought he was a great player. I don't know why nobody liked him with the Mavs, but I thought he was a great player, great shooter, and a guy who just competes. And you got a lot of. The Detroit Pistons really are a bunch of misfits. They're literally misfits from other parts of the league. I mean, guys like Tobias Harris. Guys like Dennis Schroeder, who was traded 50 times in the past 2 years.
One season, what do you mean?
Malik Beasley, who kills the 3-point percentage every year, but finds himself on a different team every year. From the Lakers to the Bucks he's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, but he can't stay on the team. So another guy who deserves some accolades. And you had, what's his name, Stewart. Didn't even get any trouble. He stayed out of trouble. Isaiah Stewart.
Him and Draymond didn't get in trouble this weekend. What the hell?
Draymond got dunked on, folks, and didn't say anything. He just took it.
He didn't even. Yep. He said, "All right, cool." I was like, "Wait, what? What the hell did I just watch? This man just got posterized and ran back down the court." I was like, "Well, okay,
Okay, we're locked in today. All right,
I guess so." Locked in for 5 points today. Great job, Draymond.
but
But defensive wise, he was great.
yeah,
Defensive wise,
but
he was great.
unfortunately, late in the game, the Detroit Pistons pooped all over themselves and started turning the ball over left and right. The Knicks spent the Knicks spent most of that 20-0 or whatever it was run shooting layups. Okay, it was mostly layups.
Yeah, 21-0 layup line is
it was
what
a layup line. Yeah, it was a lot of layups, and so that's unfortunate for Detroit. But just like you talked about Miami, Detroit has to feel like, hey, we were right there. We had a 10-point lead at the beginning of the fourth. They're a young team, right? Yep. This is the first time they've been in the playoffs in a while. And so you got to give them the opportunity to make mistakes. This was one of them. Hopefully they come back stronger in the next game. Now, okay, so Milwaukee, Indiana, I don't care about it. Stupid game. Nobody watched it. It was trash. Dame Lillard's not back yet. Who cares?
First of all, Dame Lillard, sit your ass down, shut up, don't say nothing. You're not playing. Worry about your blood clots, okay? Like he's getting into it with the Pacers. I'm like, what? You're not going to have an impact.
He's going to play the next game. They're saying he's going to play either game 2 or game 3. So he is coming back.
So I guess those blood clots don't really mean nothing.
He's been cleared. He's okay now. But the game I really want to talk about is the Denver Clippers game. The Denver Clippers game was the best game of the entire weekend. It was definitely must-see TV as we watched Jokic battle it out against Kawhi Leonard, who seemed unstoppable at moments. And James Harden.
All of a sudden.
My man's knees have been oiled. His programming has been updated. He is ready.
He hit the software update on his knees and he was ready.
I'm telling you, man, Kawhi Leonard out there balling, and really they look like a very cohesive team. I mean, even Ivica Zubac looked great out there. Norman Powell had 12, and Nicholas Batum had a couple of shots that were just stupid. I mean,
how was he still in the league first and foremost?
He's like Shane Battier. Remember Shane Battier?
I think Shane Battier may have been a little better than Batum.
Yeah, but Shane Battier stuck around for a very, very long time.
Yeah, these guys are like plagues that no one wants to get rid of, but they feel like they're going to help their team the most.
I think it's a clone. No, I think that Nicholas Batum is a clone of Shane Battier. I think they're the same person. They're just this vampire. Anyway, so getting back to the game, Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons played this game, which was interesting, but I thought this was a very inspired performance. The Clippers were really trying to steal game 1, and they did everything within their power to try to get it. Unfortunately, they were hit by the Russell Westbrook bomb. Russell went off. I'm like, what? This dude is like playing
offensively.
This dude is like playing a slot machine, man. I mean, it's either jackpot or bust. And my man went from missing layups in OT games to having 3 or 4 of the biggest plays at the end of this game. I mean, my man was getting steals, block shots. He was in the middle of the court playing the center position, basically. Caught a good pass from Jokic, laid it up, didn't miss it, knocked down a huge 3 at the end of the game. I don't know. I mean, I talk a lot of crap like everybody else about Russell.
Sure do.
Okay? He was on the Lakers, and it was tough. I got to tell you, it was rough having Russell on the Lakers. But I got to give the man props when he deserves it. Russell went out there and balled out and was the reason that they won this game. Because let's be honest, Jamal Murray was looking a little frazzled at points in this game. He was looking very pedestrian. And if it weren't for Russell, I am without the shadow of a doubt, the Nuggets are not winning this game. They're not winning this game. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh. Well, no, it's we can hear B, but for some reason man, I'm not sure if we... Hold on. I'm going to have to go back because I don't know if we have your audio either. I don't think so. I'm looking at it. Doesn't look like it. Hold on. If you can hear B, let me know. But I think the answer is no. I'm going to cancel them out. Yeah. So give us 1 second. I'm going to be talking to myself for a little bit. I know you can't hear B right now, so I'm going to try to get him out and bring him back. So bear with me a moment here. Let me just... Well, now you should be able to see yourself at all at this point, B. Let's get you. Where are you? This is the fun stuff, man. The fun stuff. Why are you being a butt? There he is. Okay, now he's back. Boom. We brought him back. He's alive. Look
Hello,
at that.
everybody. I'm back.
Little bit of IT magic, and he returns. Hopefully we didn't lose everybody, but either way, let's continue. So B, did you get a chance to catch that game, and what did you think?
I did. I was in and out of work. I was still working and caught it there. But this Clippers team is lightweight scary.
Yeah.
If it all centers around Kawhi Leonard, right? Like we know this.
Yeah,
it does. But they present a really good matchup because of Zubats. Zubats is gonna force the Joker to play defense.
Yeah, he is,
and he doesn't do that well.
Oh, like, no. Dude, how many layups did you see in that game?
It's just too easy, man.
Jokic just standing right there. Harden's just like, yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah. And then obviously there's the Jacqueline Hyde in James Harden. Like we've seen the playoff James Harden really good. We've seen it really bad, but we've never seen it consistent, right?
Yeah.
Like we've seen James Harden absolutely win games, and then we've seen him blow games by missing about 13 straight threes.
Sixers. Yep.
Like it's just we don't know what we're gonna get, but they will present the Nuggets with a very big problem. And if Jamal Murray does not get his ish together, it is going to be a very long series. Let's be honest. Is Russell Westbrook going to play like this 7 games in a row?
Exactly. No.
Yeah, you got what he... Let's give credit to Christian Braun as well. He had a pretty decent game.
Yeah, he played all right.
Enough to help win.
Yeah.
Because you had to rely on Russell Westbrook. Keep that in mind, Denver Nuggets fans. Y'all relied on that man. And just 2 weeks ago, you guys were booing the hell out of him for bricking a layup, okay? So don't celebrate too quickly. Russell Westbrook of the Lakers and his small time with the Clippers will show up at one point.
Yeah.
It will. So just get prepared for that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to happen. But, this is one that they can point to and celebrate Russell and all that, which I think is cool. But, look, the bottom line is the Clippers are definitely a solid matchup, and having Zubats be able to guard Jokic, but then also play in the pick and roll, it makes it really tough for Jokic to hide on defense. And I think we really saw that in this game. And if James Harden plays like OG James Harden, the bottom line is the Denver Nuggets, they don't really play a ton of defense. And I thought this was one of their better defensive games, but even then, they gave up a lot of easy points.
A lot of easy points there. And if I'm a Nuggets fan, I'm not happy with this win.
So I'm not. You got to be on the lookout for this next game. You got to think that the Clippers are going to look at the film and they're going to say, "Hey, you know what? We let Aaron Gordon get too many shots. Okay, we let other guys go off. Let's make sure that we make Jokic the focal point offensively and let him get his." And I think that's how you beat this team. I mean, the only reason they went, Jokic still had 29, but he had 12 assists, and you can't let that happen. 12 assists, that means 25 for Aaron Gordon, 21 for Jamal Murray, 15 for Russell. You got to find a way to take that assist number down so that Jokic he's not handing out buckets to other guys. And I think that's the biggest thing. They got to make it so that we're going to live with Jokic scoring 50, whatever. That's fine. But we're not going to let him make other guys play better.
Your main focus has to be the supporting cast, because I think Jokic has one of the better supporting casts out there.
Yeah.
When it comes to a big man with that kind of skill set, it's just you need to take, like you said, you need to take it away, and maybe take a page out of the Rockets book here. The Rockets damn near were trying to give Curry a hug every time he came through the lane. The Rockets let Curry know that they're at least there. That's how physical it was with them. You kind of need to do the same.
Yeah.
All right. It like at least until you get a whistle called on you, just you got to present a little more of a physical factor with them there, and you've got the guys to do it. So, but if I'm the Clippers, I don't, I'm making one minor tweak and that's it. The offense was fine. A couple slips on defense, like you said, allowing those guys to get off, but you take away one of those guys, they win that game easily. You just got to figure out who you want to eliminate.
Right. Exactly.
It's either I would eliminate Jamal Murray, and I would force Russell Westbrook to be that guy.
Absolutely. And here's the deal. You don't really have to guard Russell Westbrook. And because you don't, it gives you...
He guards himself.
It gives you a ton of defensive flexibility to put towards other players. And the Clippers have to take advantage of that. They have to come back and take advantage of that. And I think they will. Honestly, in this next game, I think you're going to get another great performance from the Clippers. I think it's going to be another close game. And I think this time the Clippers come through. I think the Clippers do still one on the road in Denver. Yeah. They looked prepared to do it. But they weren't prepared for the Russell Westbrook, barrage that happened at the end of the game.
Ain't nobody was prepared for that. I don't think I was, man.
No, hell no. But but can you repeat that? Like we talked about it with the Laker game, right? With the Timberwolves. Mm-hmm. Is it something that's repeatable? What we saw, is it something that you can do again? And the answer is for the Nuggets, Russell being efficient, having 50 points, and being clutch, meaning he's the guy shooting the ball late, that might not be the recipe for victories going forward. So we'll see how it shakes out.
Absolutely here.
Yeah.
I would say it was okay. I would say, the first weekend of basketball it was all right.
Yeah, it was some good games, but there were some bad games. I mean, there were some straight garbage games.
That Memphis OKC series, you know what? SGA should just take that series off.
I'm glad it came on at 10 in the morning.
God, it should. You know what they should do is just not put it on TV. Period. Only put it in the local markets. I don't want to watch it. Man.
Somebody call Adam Silver and tell him that the viewership's going down because of these damn games.
They honestly are, man. Like, come on, man. You can't be rolling out, the Memphis Grizzlies like that, and they're struggling. Like,
nah, man, it was rough. It was rough.
It was bad.
Well, now we've covered the playoffs. No, it's getting a little late. We're gonna take a little time to discuss one particular topic, and theNBA will have some interesting perspectives on. Or did you want to cover this now, or you want to save it for next time?
All right, let's cover it now, man, because your boy Paul Pierce had a pretty hot take that sparked our short to get a lot of attention here.
Yeah, so the question was centered around whose era is it and who's performed better within the era, and between two iconic Hall of Fame players, which would be Steph Curry and LeBron James. And there's a lot of argument around. There's always an argument around these two players being the greatest, especially around LeBron, I would say more than Curry as far as being greatest of all time. But Curry, as he continues to ascend, and puts up more points, we'll see. Look, era-wise, first we got to point out the fact that LeBron's played through not just one era, but like three. Okay, let's stop there.
Realize it's been two so far, but if he's on the trend, he could get to three.
Yeah, LeBron didn't just play in one era. Okay, he went to his first finals in 2007.
Yeah,
I think it was 2007, something like that.
He got swept by the Spurs.
Found himself in the finals somehow. And we're talking about the guy was only 2 years in.
You want to talk about one of the worst teams ever assembled for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they found themselves in the
Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Anybody remember that name? Probably not.
No, even Cleveland fans don't even remember him.
Yeah, remember Dante West? I mean,
LeBron's mama does.
That dude's on crack now, man. Like, anyway, we're moving on.
Yeah.
But the long story short, LeBron has played for so long that we can talk about this one era, but we do have to be considered the fact that the man is really old, has played against a lot of different players over time. Curry didn't play against Tim Duncan. Okay. He
kind of
didn't,
towards the later end.
yeah,
Towards the
yeah,
later
okay,
end.
maybe, but it wasn't in his peak. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah, sure.
He didn't play. He didn't really play against peak Kobe Bryant. Kind of, sort of, but not really.
Nah, he got the tail end of Kobe.
Yeah. So again, when we talk about eras, let's keep that in mind. Now, my perspective on this is this: if we're just talking about the era, it's hard for me to separate these two guys because they played each other every single year. And yes, Curry did win more championships in that point of time, but he also had Kevin Durant. And so there's a little bit of a cheat code going there. But they did beat them the first time.
You guys have Luka Doncic right now. I'm not trying to hear that.
Yeah, but we didn't win any We haven't won a championship with him.
Not yet. You just had him.
Yeah, but in any case, and we don't have a peak player in Steph Curry on our team. We got LeBron at the end of his career. Okay, you talking about the Warriors had.
Sorry, I took that a different path. I didn't mean to take it down that path.
Yeah, the Warriors had prime Kevin Durant and prime Steph Curry. Okay, not old LeBron James. Okay, anyway, but that long story short, both these guys have the same amount of championships. As far as that era goes, you gotta you gotta look at it and you gotta say, hey, Steph Curry did have definitely had more championships within this particular 10 or year or so era. So you do have to give him some credit there. But again, that we're only talking about era. If we're talking about career overall, I definitely know what Curry means to the game, and I definitely consider him a top 10 player all time. But I don't consider him at the same level as a 20-year person, a 20-year player who's is going to end up breaking every freaking record the NBA has ever had. And so on that level, no. Era, I'll give Curry that. I'll give him era.
I think it's neck and neck with the whole era thing.
Yeah.
To give him perspective, Paul Pierce went on a sports show and said if Curry wins a championship, he's got to be looked into as being discussed as the greatest of all time, ahead of LeBron James.
Yeah, I don't.
That's what he sparked with here.
Yeah.
And then his reasoning is because like Curry has been a little more dominant here. Did he have help? Absolutely. You know whose fault that is? It's not his. Management went out and got him that help. Yeah. He didn't ask for it. All right. But there was a pretty interesting thing that he said. Curry took home the first ever unanimous MVP during LeBron's prime. LeBron couldn't even pull that off.
Yeah,
so that's one.
But what are they gonna? Let me help you out. MVPs, they're nice, but they don't really mean anything. Let's be honest. They don't because James Harden has one. Okay, James Harden has one. Steve Nash, great player. He won one.
Left and right.
He won one when Shaq should have won one, right? There are all types of great players you look at and they don't have multiple MVPs. Because after Jordan, the NBA decided that no player was going to be able to win back-to-back MVPs. After Jordan left, the league said, nope, sorry, we're going to hand it out to whoever we like based on what we think is best. They've been doing this for years.
You bring up a good point with that because honestly, Jokic could be winning back-to-back MVPs based off of his seasons and whatnot. But I will say to this, Michael didn't take home a unanimous MVP in the era that he played in.
Yeah.
As well. So you got to give Curry credit when it comes to that there. The other thing too is Curry revolutionized what the game is now. And for me, this is a big topic here because LeBron has carried the same game as Kobe, as Michael Jordan, as a Larry Bird, as a Magic Johnson, right? Magic Johnson revolutionized a larger point guard at what, 6'5", 6'6"?
6'9".
6'9", right?
Yeah.
Magic Johnson was considered a point guard at 6'9". Changed the way the point guard position was played, right? And so we looked at Magic from a different level. From there, you had Michael Jordan, you had Kobe, and you had LeBron. Well, here comes this little bastard in Steph Curry, 6'3", right? We had 3-point shooters, but we did not have a 3-point shooter like this. And he completely changed the way the game is played nowadays that people have a problem with. But if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be seeing this kind of game.
Yeah.
So for me, that is what helps elevate this. If he gets that 5th championship before LeBron does, he leapfrogs LeBron in that category there.
Yeah.
LeBron has the points. Curry's not getting those points.
No, he's not.
No matter how many threes he shoots, he's not getting those points there. LeBron's a generational talent. He is, but he never changed the game from what it is now.
Yeah.
Curry's changing to AAU basketball. Kids are just shooting threes left and right because they see one guy doing it.
Yeah, but look, check. I mean, like I said, if we're just talking about era, you have an argument for these two players versus each other. But the Paul Pierce quote about greatest of all time, I'm sorry, we're not. We don't. I don't like broaching that at all because there are too many great players in this game. You're not just gonna skip over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You're not just gonna skip over Magic Johnson because both those guys have more championships than any of the people we're talking about right now. Okay, Abdul has 6. Okay, Magic's got 5. Okay, Kobe had 5. Jordan had 6. Yeah. Okay, so when you talk about dominance and changing the game, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the reason the dunk was outlawed in college. Okay, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went to Milwaukee and won him a championship and then said, I don't even want to play here anymore. Left and went to LA. He developed a shot that nobody has been able to even remotely replicate since he has even been in the league. So that's why I say we have to be careful about these GOAT conversations because there's a lot of basketball that has been played over the past 50, 60 years. And we can't just start saying greatest of all time and just throwing it out there because you got to do your research. So I think Curry is definitely going to be one of those anomalies. There are other players that have been anomalies, okay? Shaq was an anomaly, all right? And most of it was because of his size and athleticism. But if you go back and watch the tape, okay?
Ooh, nasty.
Shaq,
nasty.
The entire league had to hire as many 7-footers as they could find just so that they could get elbowed in the face by Shaquille O'Neal. Every team in the league had a 7-footer that was a throwaway. Literally. Everybody, remember Greg Foster and who? No, there was a plethora of guys who stayed on a payroll that wouldn't even be able to play in basketball right now just because Shaq was in the league, just so they could take 6 fouls. He was very dominant when he played. He was a little fat and out of shape, but he was dominant when he played.
I mean, look, I would take a Shaq on my team any day. I don't care what era it was in. Like, that was, again, a one-in-generational talent. But you bring that up. You know how disrespectful Kareem Abdul-Jabbar gets when it comes to the greatest of all time? He's a shadow. Like, he never existed, right? Everyone puts Michael Jordan up here.
Right.
Up here. But you give Kareem, it's not his fault that he was 7'2" in a league that didn't have a whole lot of tall guys. That's not his problem. But the man was dominant. He has the rings to show for
Played against Bill Russell.
Wilt Chamberlain. Let's not forget about him as well.
Right. Well, and Kareem played in the same era as those guys and was still more dominant than they were. And so, I mean, you can't just. I mean, we're talking the guy won a national championship.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy had success at every single level in his career. And so, like I said, I don't like having those discussions because I feel like everybody has a recency bias. Everybody wants to throw out the greatest. And the only reason Jordan is popular is because of his shoes, okay? Jordan was a great player. He was a great player. He was great for his time. And he dominated in an era where there were no other guards that were like him. He created that new guard, and then you saw it grow into the Kobe's, into, you can even say guys like Allen Houston, or you could talk about guys like Tracy McGrady, and then we get into these other large guards like Paul George, and what was the other guy that came before him? There's a bunch of guys like that. Yeah. And now we're seeing those guys slowly fade away in today's league. But still, that was a big deal. So, much credit to him. But look, at the end of the day, as great as Jordan was, okay, Jordan had to wait his turn. Okay?
Yeah.
He had to wait his turn. He couldn't win when Isaiah was still playing. He couldn't win when he beat old ass Magic in 91. Okay?
Yeah.
When Magic, that was after the AIDS scare. Okay? And Magic took a little ragtag group of players to the finals that year. And that's when he got his first championship. But if you go back and you look at some of the players that these guys in the 80s played against each other, I'm sorry. You talking Magic, you talking Kareem, you talking James Worthy, and that's just one team. We haven't even talked about the Celtics. Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Dennis Richardson. Then you go to the Pistons. You got Isaiah Thomas. You got I'm blanking on people's names, but you got all these great teams that won championships in that era.
Bill Laimbeer. I'm not saying Bill.
Well, Bill Laimbeer, but the other guy you're thinking of is he actually
James Worthy. Didn't Worthy play with the Pistons?
No, I don't think Worthy.
Who was next to Isaiah Stewart?
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, it was. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but I know who you're talking about.
He's actually
Dumars.
Yeah,
Joe Dumars.
Dumas, as I like to call him.
Joe Dumars. So you had, and that was a tough team to play against for anybody.
Oh, God.
So
watch that Bad Boys documentary.
So you got Jordan had to wait his turn. Okay, and when we got to the 90s, yeah, there were some great players that played there. But if we look at the all-time list and the Hall of Fame list, I mean, I think the best player that Jordan ever played against was Hakeem Olajuwon, and he wasn't even in the same position.
Yeah, and but Hakeem was kind of on that downward trend, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, he won the championships when Jordan was out. Yeah,
he did. But at the same time, it was like after those two championships, Hakeem wasn't all that. He wasn't Hakeem, to say the least. Here.
Yeah, and I mean, who were the other guys? Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley was on the down end.
Patrick Ewing. Mm-hmm. Who were the other guys he beat up? Alonzo Mourning. Guys like that.
Charles Oakley.
Yeah, okay. And none of them are guards, by the way. We're not even talking about the guards. I mean, the other centers. Yeah, it was like Latrell Sprewell, Allen Houston, John Starks, Kevin Johnson. Like they were all little guards.
I think Reggie Miller was probably his best.
Yeah, Miller. That's a good one, Reggie Miller.
Yeah,
but I'm sorry. But I mean, I don't know if I could. I'm just being honest. I don't know if I could compare that to the 80s.
I honestly I don't think so. Like you actually bring up a lot of good points on why we shouldn't really put Michael in that kind of discussion there. Like he did help with the game, but do you think if it really wasn't for his shoe, we wouldn't be talking about him like this?
I mean, we talk about him because he was a great player, but it wouldn't be iconic. It wouldn't be the logo, right? I mean, because let's be honest, we talked about this before. We're in an era right now where everybody's complaining about basketball, right? Nobody wants to watch the game supposedly. But if you look around the league, we're looking at 2 or 3 of the best players to ever play the game all time. So between Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and LeBron James, you're seeing 3 players that are all-time players. All time. There wasn't a player even remotely close to those 3 that played in Jordan's era.
Yeah, that's true.
There wasn't.
John Stockton was not that guy.
No, neither was. I mean, Karl Malone's a great player. He's a Hall of Famer. Don't get me wrong. But the league was centered around bigs. Jordan didn't play those guys directly.
Honestly, I think the NBA is probably the worst Hall of Fame acceptance ever because they just let as long as you put it in 10 years into the league, I feel like you're getting into the Hall of Fame. Like half the league does not belong in the Hall of Fame, man.
Mostly. And I'm not that mad at that, but I mean, I know there are Jordan stands all over the place because it's not just Chicago, it's everywhere. It's all over the world. Jordan's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I get it. He was a great competitor. He was definitely a one-on-one. And I'll give you that. He opened up a position and made it different from what it was before as a shooting guard, especially when there were mostly smaller guards that playing at the point guard position outside of Magic. But dude, the era he dominated. It
wasn't that dominating.
Kenny the Jet Smith? Anybody? Mario Elie? Robert Horry?
Look at the championship teams he played against too.
Yeah,
the Utah Jazz,
Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, right?
the
The
Seattle
Phoenix Suns with
Sonics,
Jason Kidd and Charles Barkley, Dan
Kevin
Marley.
Johnson. Yeah, it wasn't a dominating league
Look at
back in that time.
that Indiana team: Rick Smits, Reggie
Yeah.
Miller, Mark Jackson.
All on the Chris Mullin, all on their down years.
Oh, Chris Mullin was way on his downtime when
But
he
but
got
that's
to
what but that's what
Indiana.
I'm saying though. Mark
Yeah,
Jackson wasn't even there
yeah,
too. Like Mark Jackson was beyond his prime
yeah. He
when he
was.
joined Indiana. They
Yeah,
literally brought him over there just to try to help Reggie Miller.
right.
That's the only reason why they brought him there, and that experiment did not work too well.
Yeah. So
But when you look at the league now, look at what Durant. Actually, no, I'm not going to include him in this conversation. He ain't in the playoffs right now. Look at LeBron. Look at Curry. And look at the playoff teams that are in here this year. Like, there's a movement that is going to take place, and let's see which one of those two old farts survive that movement.
I mean, even now with Nikola Jokic, you've got Giannis Antetokounmpo. You've got these crazy ass athlete. You got one crazy ass athlete who could jump over people, dunk people, and then you got Jokic who can barely run. Looks like he smokes cigarettes in between at halftime. But you've got some very dominant players that can do a lot more within the league. So much so that the triple double isn't even a stat anybody cares about anymore.
No,
Nobody even cares.
If anybody does, like Tosh brings up a point, guess what Jokic averaged this year?
A triple double.
Nobody talks about it.
Russell Westbrook
it's almost like it's expected now, right?
Yeah, well, Oscar Robertson was like he was the poster boy for triple doubles for like 50 years. And then all of a sudden we get into the league, and now Luka Doncic's like, yeah, I could do that on a good Sunday.
Yeah, right. Like,
I could do that any day.
People roll out of bed with just triple doubles now.
LeBron,
the league is an offensive driven. It's an offensive driven league now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna get that.
Yeah, LeBron's like, yeah, I could do that. Now we're Jordan would definitely have the most credibility against what we see today's league is the way he played defense. That's the one thing you can look at and say that's what separates him from a lot of the other the players that we see today. Doesn't separate him from the ones we saw in the 80s, but definitely separates him from the newer players that we see in this league, in the league now. Being a two-way player is not a thing anymore. Nobody does that anymore.
So let's put it to this question then.
Yeah.
If one of those gets it, if it's either LeBron or Curry gets number 5, whoever gets it first, do they move into the top 5? I believe both of them are top 10.
Yeah.
But does one of those just solidify a top 5 of all time? Eras to the side, players to the side, or one of those at that point enter the top 5 conversation?
I think it does more for Curry than it does for LeBron. I think if LeBron wins 5, nobody's going to care. No, I mean, he'll win 5 and people are still going to hate on him afterwards. Like, they're still going to say he's not as good as Jordan.
I don't get why they hate this man so much.
So he's very polarizing, even though he's not, he doesn't do anything. Curry, on the other hand, if Curry wins, then absolutely. Because for Curry, winning the 5th championship would mean that we catapult him up a little bit. For LeBron James can only go down. No, it's true.
That's
though.
So bad.
The way the media treats, the way the media talks about LeBron, the way just he can only go down. LeBron, if LeBron wins another championship, people will be like, "Oh God, LeBron won again. God damn it. He's a whiner. Don't like him. Blah blah blah." And the people that love LeBron will be like, "Yeah, I told you he was great. I told you he was." So there's no upward movement. It's either his stand stick with him, or the people that hate him more. That's all that's gonna happen. But for Curry, on the other hand, it means, oh wow, like this guy is not just like he's incredible athlete, greater than we thought. We knew he could shoot threes, but now look at him. He's just otherworldly. Nobody hates Curry per se. You know what I mean? Like nobody's like, I hate that Curry. I've never heard that. Unless you're like
unless you're in France. They hate his ass.
Yeah, well, yeah, they do hate him, yeah.
Papa J says Reggie Miller was a badass player that played against Jordan. He was,
because he was willing to challenge Jordan physically.
Yeah,
that's
nobody else could.
Yeah,
like outside of Reggie Miller, that's one player. When you look at this league right now, you can literally put every team out there and find a player on all 30 rosters that can compete with one of those two players. Like that's how dominant this league is right now in this era. Michael didn't have that.
No.
He had one player he had to get around, and that was Reggie Miller. John Stockton wasn't stopping Michael Jordan.
No, and he had to wait to play them in the finals anyway. So I mean, most of who he was playing was the Knicks, the Pacers, and the Heat sometimes.
John Starks was not stopping Michael Jordan.
No, okay. and don't get me wrong, the Knicks had some nice teams, but it's just it's not. I don't know. Offensively, maybe it's because we're biased because we're watching today's basketball. It's just not to the level of the offense that we see now. And I'm not trying to take away from it.
If we went back and watch all the old tapes, I'd be saying the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like you find someone on one of those rosters back in the 90s when Michael was playing that you would say, oh, that guy can compete with Michael.
Let's say the 2001 or 2002 Los Angeles Lakers that Jordan had to play them every year. How many championships would he win? Yeah. He still might win. He still will win some. I'm not saying he's not going to win. He ain't winning 6 though.
No, he's not.
He ain't winning 6.
So Michael Jordan wouldn't be who he is if he played in this era.
No, he'd be a great player. He'd still be a great player.
It's an offensive in this era. It is all about offense.
But the only difference is he would have more comp. That's all we're saying.
Yep.
That's all we're saying.
Is different.
He would have more comp. We're not saying that he wasn't a great player. I'm not saying he couldn't play in today's era. I'm just saying he would have a whole lot more competition. Because as great as Jordan was, how the hell you guarding prime Kevin Durant?
No, sorry. Look, no one guards him. Okay,
I'm just saying how you guarding prime Kevin Durant.
Exactly.
He's 7 feet freaking tall. There was not a player like that in that era. There weren't any players like Dirk Nowitzki or Kevin Durant in that era. And if you wanted to see that player, you'd have to go all the way back to the 80s and play Larry Bird.
Bruce Morrow says he's winning 7.
Nah.
No. This era is about defense too. There's not a lot of defense in this era. I'm sorry. 20-point leads are not safe anymore. You remember when you had a 20-point lead in the league?
Yeah.
And it was just like you won that game? The Warriors had a 23-point lead today and proceed to give it away right after.
No, Jordan didn't really play against Kobe. They played early in Kobe's career, Papa J, but they did play against each other when Kobe was first in the league, but they never really, obviously because of age difference, they didn't play each other in the time.
Bruce says the disrespect of MJ.
I'm not disrespecting MJ.
No, we're not.
I'm saying that MJ would definitely play well in any era. I'm just saying that when he played in the 80s, he couldn't win. He had to wait his turn.
90s.
Okay?
Yep.
When he got to the 90s, all I'm saying is that the talent pool from the 80s to the 90s shrunk. Okay? So, Bruce, can we at least agree on that? That the talent pool...
That's all we're saying.
So, Bruce, can you agree with me on that? In the talent pool from the 80s to the 90s shrunk. That's all I'm saying. Did it shrink or not? Was it the same amount of competition? I don't hate Jordan. I hate Jordan.
We hate his shoes.
He's a great player. What are you talking about?
Look, you take
it's okay to have these discussions, guys. We don't have Jordan's not Jesus, okay? He's a guy that played basketball. We can do this.
all I'm saying is if you take KD and you put him in Jordan's era, Jordan don't compete with that.
Yeah, all I'm saying is Jordan. I'm not saying Jordan wouldn't win. I'm saying it would be harder to get there, and that he probably wouldn't win as many championships. That's all we're saying. And again, Bruce, I'm asking you. I'm asking you straight out. Did the talent pool from the 80s, was it the same as the talent pool in the 90s? That's all I'm asking. Was it the same? Oh man, he ain't even gonna answer my question. See what I'm saying? I'm just labeled a hater. I'm not trying to hate on Jordan, but I'm asking a serious question.
We're just having a conversation about it. We're just saying.
We can question it.
Name the
We
talent in the 90s.
we can literally call LeBron James, who scored the most points of anybody, a bum. People do it all day, every day. But if I say Jordan played in a lighter talent pool than the one in the era, I'm all of a sudden hating on Jordan. I'm just asking a simple question.
Papa J, you made it sound like Jordan played during Babe Ruth's era.
No, I'm just...
You guys, we're missing the point.
Nobody wants to answer my question. Was the talent pool in the 80s better or worse than the one in the 90s? That's it.
This era is more skilled.
Nobody's going to answer my question.
I can answer that one, Bruce.
Nobody's
I
going to answer my question.
I can stand by you on that. Yeah, there's a lot of skilled talent in this era right now.
I don't know about less IQ in the era today.
I've seen some really bad things happen.
Yeah, well, they're really good players. Well, come on now. We could go and name some bad teams from every era now, but we're talking about the best players and the best teams. Nobody's gonna answer my question.
Talk about KD losing the 3-1 lead. I'll talk about it. He lost that 3-1 lead, decided he needed to come to us. The Warriors did not ask for that. He wanted that. We didn't ask for that. Steph Curry didn't go saying, hey, we need Kevin Durant. Management went to go get Kevin Durant for him. That wasn't Steph Curry's decision. That's not his problem. Don't skip. We're not skipping him.
Well, we skipped Skinny. We did skip Skinny.
Well,
he's too skinny, and he would get hurt. He would get hurt in the Jordan era. Yeah, you know what? You might be right. KD would definitely might. Jalen Green. Oh God, no, I wouldn't. Jalen Green is probably not the best example of the better players of the NBA today. But I will agree with you.
I don't think he doesn't know how good he is.
He does not have a high IQ at all. But I don't think that Jalen Green is representative of the best players in the NBA today in this era. What do you think, B? Jalen Green don't even come up on my radar, man.
No, not yet. Yet. Show it in this series. Bruce, I'm a Warriors fan too. I as you can see, I am a huge Warriors fan. When we got Kevin Durant, I lost my freaking mind. I really did. But Kevin Durant literally ran through the Warriors here in that series there. It took God-given talent to help the Warriors beat the Thunder coming back from a 3-1. And then they proceeded to literally hand that right back to the Cavs.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
3-1. But all I'm saying is in this era right now, management is looking to help their star player, right? So there's talent out there that they can go get to help. Look at the Warriors now. We went to go get Jimmy Butler, and now look at us. We're clamoring for a championship right now. In the 90s, there wasn't that. Michael couldn't go out and say, hey, go pull someone from the Jazz to come and help me. He didn't need to. There was nobody there for him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Bruce, we're getting somewhere now. I like this. The athletes today are better. I will give it to you. They are much better this year, or just in this era here. But they don't know how to play basketball. That's because someone decided to shoot a whole bunch of threes and let the rest of the league copy him. That's all I'm saying. Like, if it wasn't for Steph Curry shooting 4,000 threes, we would not have this. We would still have guys like Peja Stojakovic, Ray Allen, Shane Battier, who we talked about earlier today. You have marksmen, but now you have legitimate snipers all around the league, right?
Yeah, it's because the league is all about shooting threes and high percent. It's threes, layups, and free throws. That's the idea. That's the coaching strategy.
Find me a big man that has a post move, a legitimate post move, a legitimate sky hook.
Not many. And by the way, Bruce, we should point out that B hates KD as much as you do, man.
Oh, dude, I tell you, man. Bruce, let me tell you this. When he left us, the level of disrespect I've been giving him since he left the Warriors, trust me. Klay Thompson, lucky he ain't getting the smoke either right now for his ass getting smoked in the play-in tournament. I ain't gotten on that topic yet.
Yeah, and then Papa J brings up Gary Payton, Patrick Ewing, and Shaq. You know, Shaq actually did beat Jordan, but they they couldn't beat Akeem Olajuwon.
Papa J. Carmelo don't belong in that conversation with Michael Jordan. You can't do that. Like that's like when you look at the skill set, it doesn't match. It doesn't.
Yeah, we got who else we got?
Bruce says, I do not hate KD. I enjoyed him for 3 years, but the man couldn't take critical feedback, and he, couldn't stand with him not being the face of the organization for the rest of his time. Decided to leave. And now look, he ain't done nothing since.
The three guy team, the whatever they want to call it, is dead. Okay, three superstars on one team doesn't work, and the Suns are dumb for going all in on three guys who do the same thing and need the ball in their hand and don't know how to pass.
Bruce says, I just hate that he can't carry a team to a chip. He can't. That's why he needed to. That's why he came to Golden State. Because once he left, he went straight to Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
How'd that work out?
Well, to be honest with you, if I'm keeping it 100, he should have never left OKC. Honestly, I mean, he had a chance to be the best. He had a chance to be what Dirk Nowitzki is to the Mavs, right? Dirk Nowitzki is a Hall of Fame player, but he played in a small market team that nobody cared about. Okay, nobody cared about Dallas. If you can look at the history of the Dallas Mavericks, there isn't one. There isn't. But Dirk Nowitzki, he makes up for all of that. And so KD could have been that for OKC, but he decided to bail and didn't want to stick around. And then after that decision, he did get his championships. I'll give him that. But
that was earned.
One championship in OKC would have been worth every championship he won with the Warriors.
Yeah. Bruce says KD will never win a championship again. No. Hey, Bruce.
Well, oh, Lord. Don't even say it, B.
Bruce, here it comes. You ready for this?
Oh, my God.
Jimmy Butler has got Draymond Green so tamed right now that it would allow KD to come back for that lineup for 2 years. I'm taking it. KD will come back. He needs a championship.
He's coming back.
Why leave OKC if he is unguardable? He left because he got what's the word I'm looking for? He got poached. Bro, you got to remember during that time, like around that time, players were talking to each other. Remember, this was a thing in the NBA where you were not allowed to go poaching players until a certain time. And players were starting to, in their ears. When the Olympics, right? Now the Olympics is like, hey, we're going to play together and let's see what this looks like. Next thing you know, players are joining each other after the Olympics. That wasn't happening in, with the Dream Team or anything like that, but that's what the NBA is now. It's a team up.
Yeah, that's what it turned into. I mean,
that's exactly what it is. That's how the whole KD to the Warriors got started. Was that he played the World Cup or the FIBA. He played FIBA with Steph Curry. And he was like, holy shit, this guy can shoot. And it just took a matter of time.
Yeah, and again, I think the way we kind of got off on the Kevin Durant thing. But the point is that there are more players. There are more Hall of Fame players. There are more players that are more talented
this era now.
That was what we were trying to say.
Yes. And then I loved it. I love this conversation, man. Who doesn't love a conversation like this? Because this is what sports brings out of all of us here. Yeah, it really does. Yeah. And when this era goes to rest, when those guys walk out, we're gonna understand how great of era of basketball that we got. And we're not even talking about the other players that were involved under these three, but these three just took that era to a whole new level. And that's why this conversation of who will be top 5 when it comes down to Curry or LeBron when they get to number 5. That's an exclusive title to be a part of. Not a lot of players have 5 championships. Yeah. Mike Tyson will win his belt back before KD wins another championship.
No, I watched that fight. Mike need to sit down, man.
It's Mike looked like he was ready to go into cardiac arrest with fighting Jake Paul.
I love his commercials. Keep doing commercials, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What was that? Mr. Squash, the deodorant. Keep doing commercials, man.
Gotta love it. Bruce, man, more talented but can't play basketball. Ask Jake. Dude, JK's in the fucking doghouse. We don't know why. Like we talked about this earlier. We don't know why he's in the doghouse.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be great trade bait.
Yep.
Phoenix needs young talent.
Oh, here we go. Back on this one. Jeez, man. It's more likely. It's more likely that a team like Milwaukee blows it up than it is. Well, we know the Suns are going to blow it up. That's going to happen. Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant. These guys are going to be on the chopping block the moment that.
Oh, Devin Booker will be gone too.
Well, they love him so much they don't want to get rid of him.
We loved Klay Thompson so much we let his ass walk.
So he says,
"How's that?
So
how's that playing?"
Bruce says, "I will give you that this era is more talented. They can't play basketball.
It's a different style of game now. Like we got to put it to that. But there are teams that can play legitimate basketball. Bruce, are the Warriors play legitimate basketball? They have adapted to the era now.
They are the era. They're the ones that changed it."
I know, but what I'm saying also as well is just like the ball movement. You watch any other team play, you don't see the same ball movement that you get with the Warriors.
No. You can't do that. You can't do that. You got to watch.
I just did it.
Boston can do that. The Celtics can do that.
Okay, you're right. I'm not
OKC, they can do that. The better teams in the league can play basketball. That's why they're the top teams in the league. We can't just discount them because we don't watch them that often. Cleveland is a good basketball team. Okay? We can't just discount them because they're not on TV every other week. All right? These are good. These are good basketball teams that know how to play the game. We just don't watch them. That's all.
Bruce, they do play basketball. They're
the best defensive team in the league. There isn't a team that's more switchable than the Celtics. And I hate the Celtics. I'm a Lakers fan. But you talk about a team that can switch any position just about.
Yeah.
Dude, they play a small lineup with Horford where it doesn't matter what team they play against. They can switch every position and still guard your players. Holiday is one of the best defensive players in the game. Jalen can do it. Tatum can do it. They got some guy coming off the bench who looks like a pasty. What was Hank Hill's son, Bobby Hill? Pritchard come out there looking like he got that same half fade, give me a 2 all the way around haircut, and be balling. Derek White.
And that's why they shoot so many threes. They can shoot threes because of the defense that they provide. It helps offset those
Celtics
threes.
Don't play back. Well, what are they playing then? Bruce, tell me.
Bruce, the Celtics are trash. Like we, as a Laker fan, as a Warrior fan, you as a Warrior fan, we beat them in 2022. Taj's team has a rivalry with them.
Yeah,
they are trash. But we also give flowers when they deserve it. And for the last 3 years, we have been advocating the Celtics are one of the better teams that play defense. And it's because of the way that they get off the ball, but they can also play one-on-one and make it very difficult for a lot of teams' best players to score. Drew Holiday is one of the better defending guards in this league. And the fact that Milwaukee let him walk to their rival, and when they played him in the playoffs, Drew locked up Damian real hard.
But they got Drew and they got White though.
And
those are
Derek White playing great defense.
Right. Those are 2 of your better defensive guards in the league. And and they're one of the few teams that have 2-way players. Like these guys can also score the ball. And they don't even have to.
We talk about those two being so great defensively. You know who's probably one of the better defenders on that team that we just don't talk about is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown, yeah.
Jaylen Brown plays amazing defense.
Yeah. No,
the guard defense is something we don't see often. So that's why we really appreciate that because it's not something you see all the time. And I hate to say it, but the Celtics do a good job of it. Yeah. I don't like saying it, but it happens.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to give credit where credit's due, man.
Yeah, now that we've given them credit, screw the Celtics. Can you say that as well, T?
Yeah, screw them. I don't want to see. They already won 18. I don't want to see them win 19. The Lakers are 2 behind already. It's getting on my nerves. I sat through Game 7. Game 7. I watched my Lakers get thrashed in 6 games back in 2000 and what was it 9 or 2008.
Yeah.
And then we came back. They didn't show up. We beat Orlando. Then we played them 7 games against that team. when that was one of the greatest basketball moments I've watched. That series, that was an amazing time to watch basketball, and it was great, even better because they beat the Celtics. It was a great time.
Hey, you want to hear a hot take right now? I'll say this right now. You put Boston's big three with Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett in Michael's era in the 90s, Jordan don't win 6.
You said the Celtics at least get 1. That's what you said.
I think they get 2.
Oh, here we go with the Laker hate. So Lakers trash too. They got the refs and Vegas go. Go T-Wolves. Okay, so here's one thing I want to point out real quick.
We've gotten so far off. I love this, dude.
You don't hear me. You'll never hear me on this show say "Go Houston." That's the difference between. That's the difference between a Laker fan and a Warriors fan. I'll never root against the Warriors just because they got to actually play us for me to root against them. But everybody and their mama wants to see the Lakers lose. And I get why. It's because of all the championships. But can I point something out to you? The Celtics have just as many championships, and nobody's on their coattail nearly as hard as the Lakers. Nearly. Not even close. The Celtics have won a championship in the last few eras. They won one not that long ago. They won one back in the 2000s. Where was the hate? Where was the hate? They only wanted to hate on Kobe. Everybody love Kobe now because he's gone. Rest in peace. But when he was playing, I remember. I remember what it was like. Everybody hated Kobe.
I think that may have been one of the eras I really hated.
Everybody hated Kobe.
Because you know why? Because he was great. That's why. We don't like greatness.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's the difference, man. I ain't rooting. You see, when we play against each other. We want the Lakers and the refs to lose.
Hey, Papa J's in your corner though.
I'm just saying, are we saying the same thing for the Celtics? Because they got just as many championships. But I guess because we're in the West and we're counterparts, I can see that.
Oh, dude, we didn't even talk about that. LeBron and who's the God? I'm blinking on the guy's rapper. I guess they were beefing over LeBron's wife.
I don't know.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna talk about this. I just need
to play defense and not brick layups. That's all.
Yo, you know how much I hate the Colorado Buffaloes, right? With Sanders and Travis Hunter.
Who?
Travis, the Colorado
football
Buffs.
player.
Yeah. You know those two had their jersey retired by the university. Exactly.
Oh, well, I mean, they suck, though. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
bruh, they were only there for a year, maybe 2.
But what else did they have to show? What else does Colorado have to show?
Kevin Gates. Yes. Thank you, Bruce. Kevin Gates.
Oh, well, you shouldn't be arguing with that guy. He's a nutball.
Oh, God. You want to talk about a guy that gets unhinged? Just called the Celtics trash. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah. Sanders and Travis Hunter got their jersey retired by Colorado. I couldn't believe that.
Colorado got a lot going on, man. I mean, they gotta.
That doesn't mean you retire jerseys like that.
You gotta go with the flow, baby.
The fact that they're even considering Sanders to be a top 2 quarterback in this draft disgusts me big time.
We got LaCroix was fighting with the rapper on. So this is what you were talking about, right? Kevin Gates.
Yeah, Kevin Gates.
So I'm a Laker fan through and through. I'm not a LeBron fan. So let me point that out. You see the picture behind me. There's no LeBron back there, right? It's Kobe. So look, I'm all about the Lakers winning games. I don't care who's on the team. Okay. So if LeBron was arguing with a rapper, he need to get his big ass out there on the floor and make some shots. I got a whole YouTube short of me yelling at LeBron for shooting too many threes. So don't confuse me with the LeBron
That was on
stand.
the live too.
Okay. I just need to see him play because he played like crap in the last game. I need my Lakers to win. That's what I'm about.
Yeah. I think, damn, we're coming up on almost 2 hours of this. This is great. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate for sure. Specifically, Bruce. Thank you.
Yeah, Bruce. Good to have you in here, man.
Popping.
I know, Bruce. We love your takes. Come back on Sunday. We're going to have some more for you, too. Because one of our teams may be out of the postseason by then.
I'm telling you.
Oh man, what a great weekend of basketball. Thank you to everyone who's supporting us. And dude, we've hit over 2 million views. Everyone loves the shorts. If y'all don't know, konnichiwa to all of our fans in Japan.
Like,
They really love people falling on their face, man. Like we have not recovered from that yet. Like it's kind of crazy, man. Like,
I mean, we obviously do highlights and shorts, and one of the biggest ones we have is somebody falling flat on their face, and but let's just say we gotta use the translate button to figure out what half the comments are. But we appreciate every person that went on there, and definitely
over 800 subscribers in 3 months.
We're doing the best we can.
We really appreciate all of you guys. Bruce, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for making this show lively. Papa J, you do your thing, man. We've had you in here for, man, it feels like since we started, man. We really do, especially when the Lakers lose Tuesday night. You know what, Bruce? You want us to go live Tuesday night? We could go live Tuesday night. We'll join you guys right after the game.
I don't know if I got a work schedule. We'll see how it goes. But I if they lose Tuesday night, then the series is over at that point. So I have a feeling they'll probably win. We'll see. But we'll see. I didn't expect them to come out flat yesterday, so I ain't gonna sit up here and try to pretend like I know what's gonna happen in the next game.
We really don't know what we're gonna get.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just hoping it's not LeBron looking the wrong way while his defender is on the 3-point line.
Yeah, let's go Warriors. Let's go. Hey man, if we lose Wednesday night, I'm not mad about it because we got the dub on the road. So as long as we get one on the road, it gives us home court.
Bruce, why do you hate me so much? Go T-Wolves. I told you I'm not rooting against the Warriors. What is going on here?
Remember, we agreed that the Celtics suck, so at least we got that going for all three of us right now.
I'm not saying go Houston. What is happening?
You just did.
No,
that's because no one likes Houston either.
Yeah, they got Dylan Brooks. I hate Dylan Brooks. He's an idiot.
God, I hope someone rips off his dreads that was shaped in the Rockets logo. Like, God damn, man.
I mean, the fact that they're dependent on that guy to score points for their team lets you know all you need to know. Seriously.
Oh my God, I can't stand that guy. I'm sorry. Right. You know what, Draymond, go get your technical on Wednesday. We got a road win, so go do what you want to do at this point.
Oh man, you better believe if the Warriors are beating them down in the fourth quarter of the next game, it's a fight. Dylan Brooks is gonna just karate chop the crap out of Draymond Green or something, because that team is not gonna know how to deal with that type of situation at all.
Oh, no. If the Warriors come out Wednesday with the dub, it's
gonna be a fight. It's gonna be an absolute melee. Somebody's getting suspended. I promise you. I promise you.
All right, y'all. It's getting late.
All right, we gotta get in the bed. All right. Well,
I got WrestleMania to watch. I've been waiting for this to end so I can go watch WrestleMania so I can post my wrestling clips.
Oh, here we go. WrestleMania going down. B got that. He got the WrestleMania info for you as always.
Bro, 2 nights of this shit is exhausting, dude. Yeah, 8 hours coverage.
What is it, Coachella or something? What the hell?
It feels like it, man. Jesus.
When did WrestleMania become a 2-night event? I always remember it being one night, one cage match. We figure out who's winning. Somebody pretends to die, comes back the next day. I don't know. You know what, the storylines get crazy,
man. What are you watching? Hey, yeah, man. 2 nights of WrestleMania, man, is exhausting. Like I'm still recovering from last night.
All right, well, that does it for us. Bruce, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, sir. Hit that subscribe button. Papa J.
We look forward to seeing you next.
Papa J always invited to the cookout. We appreciate you for joining us.
And Bruce is invited to the cookout too. He's got an informal invite now.
Bruce is already there.
Yeah,
Bruce is already there.
Hey, just make sure you bring something to drink next time. All right.
Okay. All right, y'all. We'll be back next Sunday. We'll definitely get some shorts out covering the rest of the playoff games. I put out a few for the playoff games earlier in the day. I'll have some for the Warriors. Since Bruce got on me so bad, I'm definitely putting up that Draymond Shingun dunk.
Go ahead, put it up. I told you, I texted you to put it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that up there, and we'll see y'all next Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, depending upon when the last game ends and who plays in it. Okay, so let it be known that if the Warriors or Lakers are playing in that last game, we will not get on until after that game finishes, because we are true fans. We're not these bogus fans. You see with their jerseys on. Have you ever seen somebody out with their jersey on while a game is playing for their team and they're out at the mall? And you're going, dude, how are you a fan of that team whenever they're playing right now.
Shouldn't you be home right now watching the game?
Shouldn't you be watching the game? So no, that's not us. We're watching the game.
I ended my fishing trip early today so I could make sure I was home for the game.
There you go. Boom. Yep. I've been on the grill all day, but my
grilling
was done.
I took a nap at halftime. So my ass was tired.
Yeah. I still smell like barbecue, for real. Barbecue smoke.
It's that new fragrance, dog.
Yeah. If I want to be killed by a pack of dogs, maybe. But anyway, let's until next time, we'll see y'all later. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Peace. We are out.